Welcome to the Songwriter Connection, the podcast that delves deep into the art and heart of songwriting. Each week, we gather around the dining room table to uncover the stories behind the songs. We invite you to join us on a journey to the creative minds of the songwriters who shape the melodies of our lives. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
It won't be long now. I was running through the numbers the other day, and we're getting close to 2 million worldwide streams. How about that?
Come on.
Thank you for that. It's just amazing. Here we are in Nashville. I'm Dave, and if you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. That does help us. I've got two amazing guests today. One has been here before. It's been a couple of years, and she's grown so much as an artist and as a person. It's so good to have Kaitlyn.
Thank you.
Kaitlyn Croker
Good to be
back.
here.
There you are. How are you?
I'm great.
And you brought along, we just called him Cef. How you doing, Michael?
I've been called much worse.
Much worse.
Much worse.
Thank you for coming by.
Oh, thank you for having us.
I've been wanting to have you on for a little while because you do exciting things too in this town. You know, you really do. Thanks for taking the time.
It's a lot of fun. It's a fun journey, and I'm probably having more fun than I ever did as an artist.
Oh, I'll bet. You're living the dream, aren't you?
Chasing it.
Chasing it.
We'll catch it one day.
Well, I think chase is part of living it. You know, I really do.
I think you have to enjoy the ride. I tell everybody, the one piece of advice everybody asks me, what's the one thing you say? I say, enjoy the ride. Because back when I was trying to be an artist, I was so focused on the next thing.
Yeah.
I was laying by the pool in Vegas, having what should have been the time of my life.
Yeah.
And I was so focused on the next thing.
Playing with Toby Keith and stuff like that.
It was a good time.
Yeah, but it was a good time.
It was.
At that time you were Cef Michael?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, Cef Reddy's just got too many vowels to be a country singer. So
good Irish name.
Yeah,
yeah, right. Yeah.
Schmitty. Yeah, so Cef Michael, and I definitely hurt a songwriter here in town when he came to town. I was leaving, and he was coming in. Cef Michael.
Oh. Okay.
And he would show up for band auditions. I'm like, "Where's Cef?" And he's like, "I'm Cef." No, I played for Cef. Where's Cef? And,
oh my God! Yeah, well, that's not.
He loved it.
Yeah, bet he did. It's riding on your coattails there. Yeah. So I can tell you the story. I first met Kaitlyn, but I want to hear your story. I've told you this before. I used to work at Ryman Auditorium, and it was one of the coolest jobs I ever had, giving tours of the Mother Church. And after years in radio, it was cool to get to tell some of the stories, stuff, and to walk into that legendary place, still my hair would rise on the back of my neck, thinking all the history that's there. And one of the cool things I got to do other than the tours was to work in the Make a Record booth. And it was an old WSM studio that we converted into a recording studio. And we had the Grand Ole Opry Band lay down a bunch of tracks. And we had a little book with all the lyrics in it. And you could come in, pick a song, and sing it. Or you can take a guitar off the wall and play one that you wrote. So it was a Saturday, Cef. And it was a busy day, and this family comes in, and this pouty teenager, I think we're 12, 13 years old, something like that. She's not feeling well, and she's not feeling this at all.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, parents are going, "You're going to do this, my God." So she walks in, and she's so sweet. And I go, "What song would you like to sing?" And she goes, "I want to sing Jesus Take the Wheel by Carrie Underwood." And I have to tell you, that is the hardest song in the book to sing, because only Carrie's got that range, right? So she goes, I sing it. I go, okay. The lyrics are in that book right there. She goes, "How many lyrics?" And she didn't. And we do like one quick run through and then record it. And I'm like, oh, I heard that voice. And I'm just amazed, wowed. So I handed my card and said, let's stay in touch, right? Now you were living in Maryland at the time, right?
Yes.
And you were visiting Nashville.
Yeah. I think it was just like spring break or something. I actually recently tried finding that demo.
Did you?
Singing it. Because when I was that age, I sound like a cartoon character. Like, it was, yeah.
I thought you sounded tremendous.
Thank you.
I really did.
Thank
you. I'm thinking, here's the next Taylor Swift. How'd you meet Kaitlyn?
I met Kaitlyn. I was running, I was doing a once-a-month takeover at the Distillery in Midtown, where we're at now, twice a week.
Yeah.
For
cool place.
Sipping and Picking. I would do a once-a-month takeover, and she was playing the round. Mm-hmm. And that was, we actually met at Big Jimmy's before that. Mm-hmm. But when I really got, stepped back and said, wow. And part of it has to do with the sound system at Distillery. It's so good, so clean.
It really is. Yeah.
And
stage is so set up nice. It's just beautiful.
There was something special about her. And she carried herself older than she is.
She does.
She was humble. I guess she learned a little bit after that rhyming trip. But she...
no, she just was not feeling good that day. Don't get me wrong. She was just wonderful.
Well, I mean, they're on the Griswold's family vacation, man. It's like,
I have to say this. And her mom and dad, they're just amazing people, right? That whole family is just amazing.
when you take on an artist, you take on the family.
You do, don't you?
And they are part of the package. I can't imagine it being with anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's what we gravitate to now with what, if we get to talking more about what we're doing, the family,
I want to.
the family's interviewed as much as the artist.
Yeah.
And her mom and dad are just tremendous. And from top to bottom, the brothers, they're incredible people.
Yeah.
And we joke around about her youngest brother, Brady.
Brady's
11 or
great guy.
12.
11.
Is he 11 now?
He's 11 going on 25.
I feel so old.
I call him Mr. President. This is the sharpest kid you've ever met in your life.
He
He's
really
so
is.
polite.
Yeah.
He's a little entrepreneur. He's selling little bracelets for her now, running the merch. And
Oh, that's
He
good.
just made me earrings for the TV thing today.
Brady made those.
He made these. He made these 2 bracelets I'm wearing.
Oh, wow.
Trying to get him as
So-
much business.
Got
You
some
better get
talent.
him. You better get him on the podcast now because
we should have brought him.
Yeah, right.
designer Brady becomes president in what's he need, about 30 years?
30 more years?
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
He'll be a president. He is. I'm telling you, this is the sharpest kid I've ever been around.
That's great. Well, his parents are pretty
Apples
sharp.
and trees.
That's true, right? That's what they say. Yeah. And of course, your dad, he was a pilot, right? Fighter pilot? Yeah.
Yes.
Cool guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Now he just slums at the Pentagon, whatever.
Pentagon. Wow.
Yeah, working towards his private pilot license. So,
that's good.
not doing anything much now.
And you've got an older brother, too.
I've got 2 older brothers.
2 older brothers.
Yes. We've got Sean. He
Just graduated?
He just graduated. He's a business degree. Evan is the second oldest. He's in Tampa. He's the marine biologist. I'm the singer, and then little brother's president.
There you go.
Covering all bases there.
Will you sing it as a non-girl?
Yeah, right.
The thing about this family from top to bottom is, like Sean, for example, they all take on big jobs, big tasks. And Sean started an organization. She can probably talk more about it. It's called the League of Angels. It's a baseball league. Go into a little bit more. I don't want to misstep.
Yeah.
But
Well, 'cause you know I love baseball.
it's a big project. I thought you might.
Yeah.
Well, so Sean and his friend Tanner Kim, he's the baseball player, started this organization. They put on these events and will bring special needs, neurodiverse kids to like a home run derby. So it's just a huge party for a few hours. They'll all hit balls. They'll do drills, and you just celebrate every kid. I got to be a part of one in December when we were there for Sean's graduation. Just a beautiful thing.
What a great guy. That's an awesome thing. Sean, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
It's really cool.
Very cool. What a family.
And then the other one, the extreme other, a marine biologist that we study in the
Oh,
beach.
is he?
Yeah.
So he's,
Yeah.
Wow.
they're all over the place.
That's cool. You've always wanted to be a singer, haven't you? Or no?
Well, yes and no. I've always sang. I at one point wanted to follow my dad's footsteps and be a aerospace engineer, test pilot for NASA. That's why I was so
Really?
happy to meet Brett, because I don't know, I can ask him all my nerdy science NASA questions.
Now, who's Brett?
Brett Westgrove. I'll let you do the intro there.
So we're associated with Brett. He's part of the Right Life family, and he's actually opening for her on Saturday night at the release party.
I sure
But Brett
wish I could.
plays
That's a
in
cheap
front
state
of
town, right?
yeah. Brett plays in front of thousands upon thousands of people in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Huge in Wisconsin.
Wow.
His show is so big. We're talking about $250,000 worth of lights and electronics choreographed.
Oh, my God.
And he's a former rocket scientist. So
There you go.
Yep.
Well, that makes sense now.
to sum all this up, I'm the dumbest guy at every table we sit at. So
No.
yeah, we
Next to me. So you thought maybe that's what you wanted to do.
I
But then
did.
what? What
Yeah.
changed?
COVID.
COVID? Yeah?
COVID happened.
And I met you before BC.
Yeah,
I met you.
yes.
And you had the voice then.
Thank you. I mean, I like to tell people I just started singing my Disney princesses as a little girl. I would just always sing, sang Annie. That was one of my favorite things, to just walk around the house and
Sun will come out.
yep. Actually, just watched that yesterday. But the singing just kept evolving. I started singing in church. I started singing around Maryland, D.C., Virginia. And then I was just introduced to country music. And I remember my mom turning up the radio. We were in the car one day. And Tim McGraw's Don't Take the Girl came on. And by the end of it, I was like, oh my gosh, like that just ripped my heart out of my chest. And I was like, that is so cool. What a powerful thing. Yeah. So from then on, I was like, okay, I'm going to do country music now.
Awesome. So that's what you consider yourself a country artist? Yeah. And that's a wide genre today.
Yeah.
Big umbrella.
It is. It is. For sure.
Where are you seeing yourself fitting in?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I don't know because, I stand, we just record in the studio, it's a little more rock vibey. Trouble I Chase, that's pretty mainstream, I think. The banjo in it reminds me of like a Noah Kahan, almost folky sound. I don't know. We're just exploring all avenues.
So you decided to go with Trouble I Chase as your first single.
Yes.
And that releases, we're recording this, we release April 2nd, so it would just came out Friday. So so as we're recording this, you're doing so many exciting things. You did TV this morning.
Yes.
What, Channel 2 was it?
Channel 4 was this morning. Channel 2 was yesterday. Yes.
How do you keep track of it? That's so exciting. Was that cool or what?
Yes.
You and your guitar?
Yeah. Today was a performance, and then yesterday was an interview.
Good. You getting used to those kind of things?
I'm trying to. I don't know if I ever will. Everyone is so different.
Yeah.
So you just gotta kind of get used to it on the fly. But
then you sit down with this guy.
So the cool thing I mentioned in the car as soon as we sat down, I said, "Wow, are you having a rock star week or what?"
You
so
are.
As we speak right now, Dave. So we post on socials. I keep getting alerts on comments for what we posted yesterday's interview.
That's great.
As she's doing your podcast, literally down to the second, right now, in 1 minute, her interview today, her live air performance or recorded live air performance is playing in 30 seconds on TV. So she's doing a podcast while she's too busy to watch her TV.
I'm sure there's DVR in it for you, right? Yeah, your family won't let you miss that.
We can hope so, yeah.
A DVR is when they record this. It's a program they used to have.
You're a funny guy.
There was a time you had to put a cassette tape in there. No, not DVD. What was it? Those VHS tapes, and you.
Now, what's a cassette tape? No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right?
You remember when we go to? You're a Cincinnati guy.
Yeah.
Remember we go to Blockbuster and you'd have the tag, whether you rented the beta or the
or the VHS.
VHS, you had to leave the tag on.
And then it became DVDs, and oh gosh.
She came to one of my shows. She looked down. She was like, "I didn't know you had coasters with your face on them." I was like, "Those are CDs." So I'm just saying.
They make good coasters, so they do. They really do.
It's the best way to sell a set of 8.
Absolutely. So let's
look at that face.
Are you doing CDs with your release or no?
No,
some do and some don't, but
not at the moment.
No. Okay. Maybe vinyl.
I have that you.
Yes.
You can't tell her what we're going to do before I do.
I just asking.
I think that when we compile all this, I think that vinyl's the way to go.
I do too. I do love it, and it's selling more than CDs right now. So
Yeah.
Tell me about this song, Trouble I Chase, the writing and everything, and we're going to play it. We're going to play it right here.
Yay! So we wrote it. I think it was last fall, maybe last fall, summer.
Approaching winter.
Mm-hmm. We wrote it last year, and we were just walking into a write at Cef's house, Cody's house, with Daniel Andrews. It was our first write, just the 4 of us.
Yeah,
and as Michael likes to say, he got up on his soapbox and was like, Daniel, play us a lot of leaving left to do, Dierks Bentley, give us that kind of guitar groove. Mm-hmm. Cody, get on the cajon. And,
Cody's
just he is.
Yeah.
What I said that day. So here's what I know. I know that we're managing an artist that has an incredible voice, and we have something special in her.
Yeah.
So we can't dummy that down with vanilla songs.
Right.
And I said distinctly, I remember I stood up. I was on my soapbox, literally. And I said, I don't care if we write crap today or we write something magical, but we are not writing vanilla.
Okay.
And I can tell you that she has a drive about her that she holds in, because up to this point, it didn't have the drive behind it.
Okay.
And I said, there's no females out there doing that drive and that Waylon beat, that Dierks Bentley, a lot of toms, like that drive.
Yeah.
And combined with some other songs that she has, I felt like we had a special product and the perfect ambassador. And we started writing towards her voice, especially as the project progressed.
Well, you're really helping her find her niche, and I think it's so important today. Your brand.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important today. So you go into this, right? You're not going to write anything vanilla. Tell us about that whole process, how it came together.
Well, I mean, storyline-wise, it's not exactly me or my story. Actually, first time leaving the right, going back home, I played it for my mom, and she was like, "This is me. This is my story."
It's your mom's story.
Kind of funny. But yeah, it's such a fun song. Whenever I start playing, I'm just like, oh yeah, here we go. Like, I just enjoy it so much. You gotta love
playing it, You have
yeah.
to. Yeah.
And I mean, when you see the audience, some of them, kind of moving and grooving with you, it makes it all worth it. And yeah.
That's what I call payday.
Yes.
So.
I think from the first day that we saw it played live, just watching the crowd and people that aren't paying attention sometimes at rounds, snapping their head and going, wow, okay. This is cool. And the irony, she started touching on it, but I'll brag on her a little bit. As a parent, this is your dream child. As a writer, you got to drag a little bit out of her. I mean, she was homeschooled, and she's there's things in life she hasn't experienced yet, and she wants to stay true to herself. But so what we talked about is sometimes as an artist, and I used Tim McGraw, ironically, one of her favorites. Tim McGraw in the Red Cabaret song or The Convertible, he's not talking about his situation. He's talking about a situation that relates to people. He's a storyteller. He's an actor. Ironically, he's an actor. He doesn't have a $7,500 truck sitting at the end of his driveway. I'm guessing his HOA wouldn't allow that. But he's stepping into the role that people can relate to.
And that's so important. So many times I hear a publisher say, well, that's not right for my artist because he doesn't do this. He's not that. What happened to, like you just said, you're an actor playing a role. You're telling a story. I mean, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that happens today.
When I got my biggest notoriety as an artist, playing Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, I had a song about addiction. And I've never, never experimented with hardly anything. I'm kind of like her in that regard. And maybe not quite as innocent, but everybody in my town, we were suffering with this meth going around.
Yeah.
And nobody was exempt. Doctors' kids were dying in bathrooms at gas stations. So I wrote this song, and it became, people were driving 2 hours to see me play. It wasn't about me.
Right.
It was something that the world needed to hear. So
I think that's a real important point. Well, let's listen to the trouble I chase. What kind of trouble you chase? Let's take a listen to it. It's Kaitlyn Croker is our guest on the Songwriter Connection podcast. This is out there streaming everywhere. Put it on your Spotify playlist.
Mama wants a nice guy that just ain't my type.
chasing the trouble I chase. That's the trouble I chase.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Right there. Trouble I Chase. And I'm so honored to have you here because it's impacting radio right now as we speak. Released on Friday. Big show over the weekend at Chiefs as a party to release and everything. This is exciting times for Kaitlyn Croker. How are you?
Yes,
Yeah?
thank you.
You
Thank
pitching
you.
yourself? You going, is this really happening?
Yeah, no, I can't believe it. We were at rehearsal on Monday, and Michael gets a call, and he's like, "Well, we got your first radio interview, 7 a.m. Friday morning in
Where
Florida."
In Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark in the Morning, 104.1, Arcadia, Florida.
Arcadia, Florida.
It'll be 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Central our time.
Well,
And
they probably stream. We can probably listen in.
yeah, absolutely. Mark I met at CRS, and he's
Country
watched.
radio seminar, if you don't know.
What's cool about he reached back out to me is, man, this song, I'm digging it. And he's a classic country guy.
Oh, good.
And so he doesn't love all the new stuff necessarily.
Yeah.
But it comes to radio on Monday. And I said, Mark, if you want to do the interview, you can. He goes, can I play it? He goes, I'll be the first. So he was like excited to be the first. And then if things go well, then our second will be later that day up in Madison, if not the following Monday. So the day comes out. So
Oh, yeah.
very cool.
You know what? Call your radio stations. Wherever you're listening, you got a local station, call them. Kaitlyn Croker.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with a K.
With a K.
KC. Oh, and you got the hat.
I'm rocking the hat, baby.
You're rocking the hat, Cef. I love it. Want one? That's my color.
I got you.
You got me?
Yep.
All right.
I'll give you this one off my head when we're done.
This is the first
man.
time we have hats. You're the first person to own one. We just got them 2 days ago.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now you got the merch ready. You're ready to go. You're going to hit the road, aren't you? Where are you playing at from here?
Well, we've got Saturday Chiefs. Doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 8. That's on the 3rd floor, which I was thinking when you were sharing the Ryman story. So I've actually never been back to the Ryman since you and I were there last.
No kidding.
And what's cool about this venue is it's a
1/3 replica.
of the Ryman. And I mean,
is
it's
so cool.
stunning. It's so cool.
It really is. They even got the stained glass. you know,
Yeah.
So
Yes.
The Ryman doesn't have Michael Jordan on it, though.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, that's on Saturday, the end of April. I'm going to be going back to, before I was homeschooled, freshman year I went to a private school, and so I'm going to be playing a show for them. They're doing a private auction
That's nice.
in my hometown, and then we'll be flying to Miami for a patriotic conference called the Truth Seekers Conference.
Nice.
I'll be singing the national anthem and some patriotic songs.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna drive to to Miami. No, to Key West. There we go.
Oh, you're going to the festival.
Miami to Key West. Yes.
It's Trump Doral in Miami and then to Key West after
You're
that.
playing Trump Doral.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. Thank you. I'm very excited.
Congratulations. Oh, that's going to be an awesome show.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and you're going to love the Songwriter Fest too. Those are awesome.
I have not been to the Key West one, and I know that's one of the big ones. So I'm just so thankful to be a part of it and
Absolutely.
ready to get some sun and all the good stuff.
Awesome. I'm so happy. So proud of you. Tell you what, you talked about patriotic. You have a song called Stand. And I want to hear the story, and I want you to play it live because we're all about playing live around the dining room table on the Songwriter Connection.
There we go.
So take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. You got to hear this girl sing live.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection with Dave Linehan. Find us on Facebook and YouTube at the Songwriter Connection Podcast. And find Dave at thedaveconnection.com. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Yes, so again, if you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Hit that little ring button so you never miss an episode. But we're streaming everywhere. You'll find us just everywhere. And we're out every Wednesday with a new episode. This is 201. No, 202. I'm sorry. I never keep track of it.
That is impressive.
We got people. All right. I'm the people. But I never get it right with my squirrel brain. Kaitlyn Croker is our guest. Love what she's doing. Her new record is impacting radio this week. She's having an exciting time. You're a rock star. And we're really happy to have you. Tell us the story about this song here.
Sure. So I Stand was written 2 days before the 4th of July last year.
Last year?
Brooks Herring and I, we've written a few times, and every time we had written a slow song, and I'm like, dude, I need, this was before Trouble I Chased, so I'm like, I need these upbeat songs, you know, I'm putting everyone to sleep here. So we got to talking just, you know, about different things we believe in, and he served, he was
Army and Navy.
Yeah, Army, Navy. My dad was Air Force and Navy. So we had that connection, and, you know, just being right before the 4th of July, we're like, let's write something patriotic, something we can both get behind. And so we wrote the song I Stand. That's all about everything we believe in, just standing for our country, you know, standing for the national anthem when it's played, and just, you know, respecting all parts of it. So
we need more patriotism right now, I think.
And it's not a political song.
No.
It's a patriotic song. And this one, I'm going to say it right here in front of the world, the 2 million listeners. I passed on this right.
You passed on it.
I passed on this right.
Oh.
I had something that was a little bit more priority that day at the time, and you know what? If I was in the room, maybe it wouldn't have turned out as great as it did. You know, might went a different direction, but
you can't give
definitely
her a word for a third.
I've tried to change a couple words, and you know what?
He didn't show up.
You don't say. But I will say this right now: we all know this business revolves around money.
Yeah,
we're working on some big things. I think we're going to talk about that on the back half of this. But with the right money, this song will be a monster.
It's not about the money. It's about the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it could be a monster. It's got a good message. Would you play for us? Would you play it? Yeah?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
There's plenty of things in life that can bring you to your knees. Punched in the gut and making it home after a year fighting overseas. Part of growing up is learning to stand up on your feet. When you die, they'll lay you down. Watch what you do at the in-between. You can kneel to put that ring on her hand. Kneel before your God. Kneel to help a friend to their feet when you're the only one they've got. You can kneel at the stone of a hero who laid on their life. But when the flag is raised and that music plays, oh, say I better see you rise, 'cause I stand. I don't have to like what you say, but I'll die to defend your rights. Soldiers, they don't care who you voted for last time. So show some respect when old glory waves and you hear that sacred tune. 'Cause I've seen an old man stand that's aloof from a wheelchair, so dang it, you can too. You can kneel to put that ring on her hand. Kneel before your God. Kneel to help a friend to their feet when you're the only one they've got. You can kneel at the stone of a hero who laid on their life. But when the flag is raised and that music plays, oh, say I better see you rise, 'cause I stand. Oh, so proudly we stand, 'cause divided we all fall. At the dawn's early light, she waits for us all. Can kneel to put that ring on her hand. Kneel before your God. Kneel to help a friend to the feet when you're the only one they've got. Can kneel at the stone of a hero who laid on their life. And when the flag is raised and that music plays, they'll say I better see you rise, 'cause I stand.
KC. That's awesome. Kaitlyn Croker. Beautiful song. Nice message here. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Soldiers don't care who you voted for, Stand when you hear that national anthem.
That's right. I mean, I have early memories of singing the national anthem at my dad's promotion events and, other celebratory things going on bass and stuff. Yeah. So this one just feels super, super homey to me.
It does. Yeah, it's right there in your pocket. Cef, let's talk a little bit about Right Life. I think that concept is so brilliant. And I remember meeting you back in the day when I was doing the 12 Keys Writers Rounds. And you'd come in, and it was always a pleasure to sit down and talk to you. You just are a good hang, and an amazing person, and a good writer. And you come up with this concept, the Right Life, W-R-I-T-E. I always end the podcast by saying right on, W-R-I-T-E, which I kind of stole from you. I hope you don't mind.
That's all right.
But it's just a great concept.
It's going to be trademarked. So it's
I won't say Right Life. I'll say right on.
So
tell me about it.
So ironically, Right On is going to be the record label.
Is it really?
In publishing, it's Right On.
Sorry, that's trademarked.
Okay, I know. I am aware. It's so all right. Right On came from if you text me and you say I'll be there in an hour.
Yeah.
I'll just text you back Right On.
Right On
with the W, and they'll be, I see what you did there. I'm like, well, I hope so. It's right there.
It's right there.
But so we are starting our own publishing company. It's Good. Right On and record label.
And record label.
Yeah, and record label. It's Right On Music House and Publishing.
Wow.
And we went with Music House and Publishing because we want to cover a couple things. And then there will be a couple DBAs under there. Right Life, Living the Right Life. But nobody's going to make those breaks for you in this town. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
And, it is a little bit of a club here in Nashville.
It is.
And being a songwriter is one of the toughest jobs in town because, well, not everybody can perform to the level of getting paid. Mm-hmm. So it costs us a lot of money to go out 2, 3, 4 nights a week. I mean, you buy a drink, you buy dinner, you pay to park, and you're paying.
So you've dropped $100.
Yeah,
$50 to $100.
And so my goal now is to get everybody paid on writers' rounds eventually, the ones that I'm involved in.
That's nice.
But it all started. I was still selling cars.
Yeah,
and I was laying in bed one day, probably 3 years ago, and I said, "Man, they should do a reality show on our crazy lives.
They should
living the right life." Because everybody thinks that Jason Aldean's just chilling in his house and like, oh, I'm going to write this song. No, it's the writers.
Yeah,
nothing against you, Jason, but we know that you take outside cuts, and maybe one day we'll be one of those. But so I just held on to that. It was just a pipe dream. I mean, I was selling cars. It was miserable, but I didn't think we'd ever do that.
Yeah.
And in January of 23, I got asked to do a takeover for Sippin' and Pickin'. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you need a name. I was like, well, Living the Right Life.
There you go.
Not using it for anything else.
Brilliant.
And I remember one day, so I used to have my daughter week on, week off. Mm-hmm. And when she started kindergarten, because they're in Northern Kentucky near Cincinnati, I couldn't do that anymore. And I was just, and my son, he's an avid baseball player. Yeah. I was missing games. And the dealership said they'd let me go, let me go to games and that. But I'd start packing up about 1 o'clock and, well, you're leaving already. And I'm like, well, yeah, if I leave now, I miss 2 innings, and I was just miserable.
Yeah.
And I was making good money. But money isn't
everything.
Honestly, man, as long as you can cover your bills, it ain't anything.
Yeah, that's right.
And one day, the right person made me mad. I'm Italian. I'm fiery. And I packed up. I said, I'm done. I had no plan, no savings, no anything. Rebuilt car that wouldn't go into fourth gear.
Oh, man.
And so I ended up making like $60 a night when I would do this Big Jimmy's takeover. And then I picked up an acoustic gig at AJ's. But long story short, I never dreamt that this would be where it is. And honestly, it all started the night I tell it publicly on stage. The night that I walked in 12 Keys. You and I had texted a couple times. I sent you some songs. You liked them. But I met you in person. And on stage was Randy Driscoll. Justin Love was in the middle. Dakota Danielle on the right.
Great people.
And then, of course, I tear up just saying his name. Greg Matthews was in the back.
My brother.
And I had been searching for my tribe.
Yeah.
For the longest time. These great songwriters, and I couldn't find them. Mm. And this round was incredible. Greg took me under his wing. That night,
wrote a great song. I remember writing
Steel Bridges. Steel Bridges will be out in the next year. That's a lot of the other announcements that we have coming.
That's nice.
But that night changed my life. And then I started hanging out more, and I would see Greg Wilson, Trey Ackerman, Joe Bazzelli. Those guys on stage, and the camaraderie and the bantering.
That's what makes it fun on these rounds.
I was like, I want that.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to build a tribe. And that's what Living the Right Life was. And when we started Big Jimmy's, I would stand on 2nd Avenue and I'd beg people to come in. Because this wasn't a destination spot. And I would have to beg people to play. I'm like, you played? I played. Come on, Dave. I'll get you $10 parking. And
they'll play for hamburgers.
You did. You got a cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. And so we grew. Going to Key West got me into Live Oak. Hasten and I had a beer and talked about that. Talked about the reality concept, and it's just grown and grown and grown, and now we're 4 shows a week.
4 shows a week. Incredible.
We're getting ready to make a change on Wednesdays, but now we do these big ticketed shows. And the irony about this is Chiefs was being built.
Yeah.
I was standing in the shadows of Chiefs being built on 2nd Avenue, begging people to come in. And now, I mean, our January 15th, our 2-year anniversary sold out.
No kidding.
Sold out show.
Fabulous.
And just,
if you haven't been to Nashville, Chiefs is down Lower Broadway and 2nd, and it's a spectacular building. It really is. They did a heck of a job.
It was a hole in the ground when I started this round and just watched it build. Never dreamed I'd be on that stage and doing this. Yeah. And what it's done, Terry Jo Box, she mentored me a little bit, and she said starting the Freak Show really changed her life because she has access to all these incredible writers.
Yeah.
And the reason she has Lainey Wilson cuts is because they were doing the same thing we're doing.
And Ashley McBride.
Ashley McBride, Lainey Wilson. She's friends. She writes with Miranda. That whole crew.
Yeah. Fabulous.
And they kept that relationship. Last summer she's on tour with Lainey writing. She has a Grammy now because of those relationships. So
that's fantastic.
That's really, I took a little piece of you, a little piece of Randy Driscoll, a little piece of her, and I morphed into my own way of running this round. But then people start talking about, I don't talk about my artist stuff a lot. A lot of people don't even know.
You sent me the one sheet today on all this stuff. I didn't know half of this stuff. Yeah. I did not realize.
It was a fun run.
Yeah. So you were here when?
2010 to 14.
10 to 14.
I had a little indie record deal in the works, a couple of legends in the business, and they produced my album. And they were going to do it for me really cheap. And I came in with the first $800. And what they were doing is they were starting a platform and a label.
Wow.
I was going to be their first guy. And I had gone on the road with one of the guys. He went on the road with me, and he couldn't believe that I drove back and forth to Kentucky every week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
Bad you want it, folks. Yeah. Wow.
And he said, I can't help you today, but one day take the call.
Wow.
And he called me. The SEC tournament was in town, Kentucky Blue.
Yep.
Crossroads didn't open till 2, and they opened at 10 a.m. that morning just so I could play a show.
Yeah.
So I had 200 people there at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
There were 84 shot glasses on the stage. As I'm walking out of this gig, and walking is exaggerating, leaning, whatever, I get a call from Dave, and he says, "Hey, are you playing tonight?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm bringing Mylan down." I said, "Dave, you can't. I've been partying. It's the SEC." He goes, "Well, you better find some coffee, son. Do your thing." And I remember I had a hangover.
Oh my God!
At 7:00 when my gig started.
Oh,
it was SEC. I wasn't in business mode.
Music business people coming to watch you.
Yeah. And it was Mylan Bogdan, a legend, and we were in the middle of doing my album, and I was the last album he worked on. He tragically passed away in the middle of it. Man. And everything just kind of fizzled out after that. But 12 songs. But I paid the first $800, and I walked into a conversation about how good the music was. Wow. I wrote a lot of it with Radio Romance, Tim Daly, and I didn't pay another dime. Wow. And we had all star players on this album, and I was so excited. I had a radio release ready to go, and with the passing of Mylan, that fell out the window. But the one thing I don't want to be in this town is a has-been that never was. So you don't hear me talk about back in the day. Now, what has happened now with Kaitlyn and these other artists, I have to talk about it because I have to have a little credibility. And the reason that I took this on, the first time Kaitlyn and I talked, I believed in her, but I didn't believe in me on a management side. I wasn't ready. But I laid out a plan. I said, this is what I did as an artist, and it worked for me. I put on a shared doc. You remember that? We met at not 10 Cup, but The other coffee, Just Love, in the morning, and the little president was there,
Mm-hmm.
brother, and I just laid out a plan for it. I said, this is what I did. And I got to thinking about it, and I was 50 pounds heavier back then. Mm. I'm not a great singer. I'm a mediocre singer, but I'm fun, and I can write. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, if I could do that for myself, work myself up from getting kicked out of my first band because I couldn't sing, to playing Toby Keith bars nationwide, opening for people, radio play, to a record deal, what could I do for somebody like Kaitlyn Croker?
Right.
What could I do for some of these other people that are so much more talented? And if you're going to look around this table at the most attractive, you're not looking at me and you, Dave. It's this lovely girl right here.
She is. She's stunning, just like her mom.
Well, the thing is her personality, man.
Yeah, it's so true.
She's an amazing artist, but she's an even better human being.
Yeah, she is.
And she comes from a long line of them. And that's who we attract. In the Right Life, if you come to our shows, the Right Life show, it's a tribe of great people. Yeah, and I will stand on stage and tell you, if you're not rooting for the person next to you, get out.
You know what? I love that about you. It is so true. And that's what it should be about in this town. And for the most part, I think it is. But, there's always exceptions to the rule.
There are definitely exceptions to the rule. Here's the thing. If I'm sitting next to you on stage and we become friends and you pop, but we're friends and we write together, nothing but good happens for me.
Yeah.
And the thing people don't understand is momentum.
Yeah.
In this town. Who's on top right now might be the one leading the pack, or, the next person might be on top and go back and forth. Yeah. And think about people who opened for major stars. Yeah. And now 20 years later, they're opening for them. Yeah. It's a momentum business, and really you never know who you're sitting next to.
Good advice.
When I first came back town, writers' rounds were not friendly. You would have thought I was trying to play the Ryman myself, just to play a writers' round, and I vowed I would never be that way. Yeah. So we do we do a New Faces opportunity. You do that, yes. I appreciate that you do that. We want new faces. The last time I was at the distillery, you had 2 new faces, and they were great. Yep, they were awesome, and they're not always. Yeah. So you don't know what you're going to get. But the thing is who am I to say? Yeah. If the crowd isn't digging it, let the music and the artist speak for itself. That's such a good point because, when I was coordinator at NSA, my most unfavorite thing to do was critique a song. Mm-hmm. I'm like, who am I to critique this song? This is coming from your heart, Mm-hmm. We don't know. Well, if I remember, so what people don't realize is also I'm from Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. It's an important river. And Dave was a DJ in town there. Mm-hmm. But there's a song of the year that you didn't like when you first heard it. Yeah. You didn't like it. Yeah, I've told that story a million times. Yeah. Boss brought it into my office and said, what do you think? I think I want you to play this song. And we listened to it, and I'll tell you the song, and the guy who wrote it. It was I'm Moving On by Rascal Flatts. The irony of this conversation. He goes, and I listened to it, and it's 4 minutes and 40-some seconds long. He goes, what do you think? I go, man, afternoon drive, I ain't got 4 minutes and 45 seconds to play a slow ballad like that. I don't hear it. And he goes, I want you to play it anyway. I'm sure glad I did because 4 years later, Song of the Year. Yeah, Song of the Year. Wow. And it meant so much more to a lot of people than what I ever thought, people with addiction and everything. It became an anthem to these folks. Well, and the song's relative. So you touched on Steel Bridges. Yeah. That I wrote with Greg Matthews. Great song, by the way. So I've pitched that. Thank you. I pitched it one time. Yeah. And the person was an intern at whatever. I hate that. And it was a young female. Uh-huh. Well, this is a male song? Yeah. It's about a son coming home after years and didn't know how the relationship was going to be. I wish you could play it right now. I mean, I can email it to you, but it's but it didn't relate to her. Yeah. And we talked about some of my other songs. Somebody's Wife. Yeah. 30 songwriters passed on that song. Yeah. Justin Love, Jim Hawkins, myself, and Scott Barrier wrote that, and it was saving itself for that moment. Yeah. And it just happens. Yeah. Yeah. And we're sitting there when Justin debuted it. Mm-hmm. I'm getting text messages from a guy with 3 10-time platinum records going, holy cow, that's one of the best songs I've heard in years. That's pretty awesome. 30 songwriters passed on it. Mm-hmm. When I look back at those songwriters, a lot of them were happily married. Mm-hmm. A lot of them married their high school sweetheart or 20-year married. They didn't relate to the story. Yeah. So they didn't want to write it. Yeah. So, music's relative. So if I don't like something that's on stage, doesn't mean
Right.
It just means that I'm not in the place to relate to that for the moment.
I got you.
So
makes a lot of sense. It really does. I'm also the guy that passed on Garth when it first came across my desk. He's a program director in Cleveland, and I'm like, Garth? What? Garth Brooks? And I put it on the turntable.
I'll be sure to tell our publicist.
I've told it to his daughter, so it's okay. We don't always know. No. We don't always know. But I know one thing. This gal right here has got some talent, and I think you're gonna go far, and you're gonna take her.
Go team.
Get that guitar and let's play another song. Will you play us another song? And the story behind it, please. Kaitlyn Croker here. Her song, right now, The Trouble I Chase, playing on radio, streaming everywhere. You need to put that in your playlist.
Am I allowed to make a request? What are you going to play?
I think it's the one you're thinking. I Never Dream.
Are you going to play it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
Can I tell the story?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
So
it's fitting.
we wrote this with Dave Gibson and Cody Kelly.
I love Dave Gibson. He's a great guy.
That's the crazy thing.
He's been on this show. Love him.
He's amazing. And these are legends, and they're coming to my living room. And after writing with her one time, he told Cody and myself, he said, I'll write with any of the girls that you guys bring to the table. You want to write with it.
That's good.
And so he's ready to write with her anytime. But the story behind the song we wanted something that could be heartfelt, is a beautiful melody.
Yeah.
Cody Kelly, a drummer.
Yeah.
Not a great guitar player. He came up with this
He
melody.
does all right.
I think Cody's one of the best kept secrets in town.
I do too.
He'll tell you.
Yeah.
But
Cody.
So
I don't always recognize you, but I love you.
But the cool thing about this song, you wouldn't think a almost 50-year-old guy would have a huge part of this, but my daughter lived this song just like Kaitlyn did.
Oh, are you kidding?
And I remember this story. I don't want to give away the song but as she's singing it, that my daughter was doing that on her back porch just like Kaitlyn was doing 15 years ago.
Wow.
And there's 2 lines in this song. It's there's a part where she talks about her song being on the radio.
Yeah.
Now it's all on the radio. And the second one is my name on the marquee.
Oh, my God.
So the next time that she plays this song in front of an audience, well, she'll probably play it at Freak Show on Friday, but on that stage at Chiefs, her name is going to be on the marquee, and she's going to be on the radio that day.
See, you manifested that, girl.
You know what? I don't, and you can probably attest to this, I don't get really emotional over things.
I cry like a baby.
But I have a feeling it might be a little emotional on Saturday, and I'm just
I've cried more working with this young lady than I have. And you and I have gone through some traumatic things together here recently.
Yeah.
And she gets in my emotions, so I cannot wait to see her.
I'm going
play
to tell
this.
you better be posting a lot of pictures and videos on the.
Yes, sir.
What time's your gig?
It's 7:00.
What time's it done?
9:30.
I start at 9:30.
I'm way out.
Okay.
Like an hour away.
Well, that might not work.
Might not work. Doggone it. I am so bummed. All right, play this song.
Okay. Well, I will say we do have some killer songs lined up for the rest of the year, so hopefully this is not the last release party.
It won't be. The next one I'll be there.
My favorite fantasy when I was 3 made the back porch my Opry. The dolls and dogs lined up for the sold-out show. Closed my eyes and saw them sing along every word to every song, hoping someday I'd be on the radio. Now I'm on the radio.
Yeah, you are.
I never dreamed I'd get to be living out my wildest fantasy. My name in lights on that marquee. All the faces in the crowd, the little girl should be so proud. How different life would be if I never dreamed.
Oh, yeah.
It took some time, but you know that I was bound for this life, the ups and downs, and miles on the road. I've fallen in and out of love, but music always was what I turned to when times got tough and I got up. I never dreamed I'd get to be living out my wildest fantasy, my lady lights on that marquee. All the faces in the crowd, that little girl should be so proud. How different life would be if I'd ever I never dreamed I'd get to be living out my wildest fantasy. And I believe I can fly, spread my wings up to the sky when I say, how different life would be, how different life would be if I never dreamed. Yeah, I never dreamed.
Oh, that's such a great song. Kaitlyn, it's amazing. Who'd you write that with again?
Michael here, Cody Kelly, and
Cody Kelly.
Dave Gibson.
And Dave Gibson.
Yes.
Amazing. That's a great song. Good job, you guys.
Thank you.
I cry
really
every
love
time.
it.
I'm not going to lie, I tear up.
Yeah, I can see that's emotional. Yeah.
One thing that's awesome about working with Kaitlyn, and not just being around her, I mean, that's amazing, but writing to her voice.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to do every time is write to her voice.
So true.
And I believe that she has one of the prettiest falsettos
She does.
of any level in this business.
We cut a little bit of it at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she
appreciate
belts
that.
it when she's not in a dining room.
Oh,
So, but I'll say this, and I'm only on 2 of these songs as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
This 5-song project that we're working on right now, I don't know if we'll make it an EP. Maybe we'll make it an album.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know.
Yeah.
But right now it's going to be single by single.
It's good. That's the way it's done today. Digital.
I can listen to people at the highest level in this business, and there are not 5 songs on their albums that are as good as the 5 songs that she's putting out.
It says a lot. It's a big statement.
I will say it, and you can put this in Sony, Warner, I don't care.
There you go.
So-
I got to tell you, I love the way you dream big. And you too, Kaitlyn. You're fearless, man. And you make things
Yes.
happen. Seth, I'm real proud of you, man.
Thank you, man. Means
Thanks
a
for
lot.
all you do for the songwriters in this town.
Yes.
And Kaitlyn, sky's the limit for you, girl. I'm really happy for
that.
you. And I sure appreciate you taking the time in this incredibly busy launch week for you to be on the Songwriter Connection.
Of course. You're one of my favorite people. It's an honor to be here.
You and you too. Thank you for listening at home, in car, wherever you are. Remember, right on.
We hope
Give
you
me my
enjoyed
pity.
this intimate glimpse into the world of songwriting and found inspiration in the stories shared by our talented guests. Remember, the magic of music lies not only in the notes and chords, but in the emotions and experiences woven into every lyric. Until next time, keep listening, keep creating, and keep the melodies alive.